So WWE was on the news this past week. I mean, they were all over the place, especially after what happened on Tuesday with WWE merging with Endeavor. What is going to happen with the programming coming up? Are we going to see UFC fighters crossing over WWE? Also, we're going to talk a little bit about Jade Carghill. Is she done with AEW after her match with Chris Stanlander? Also, we're going to talk about the PWI 500 list, which is, to me, it was a joke, but we're going to be talking about that and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One from New York City. And this week, we're going to be talking about the WWE. I mean, they were all over the place this week. And there's nothing else that was big this week but WWE. As we saw WWE merge with Endeavor, and now they're under one big umbrella. McMahon owns WWE, 49% of it, and he stays on board as chairman of the board, supposedly. Ari Emanuel, of course, him and Vince McMahon been friends for 20 years, and that is the reason why McMahon is still around. McMahon was not going to sell this company to no one else, plus to Emanuel, because he knew if he sold it to any other company, whether it be Disney or the Atlanta Braves owners who wanted to buy it, that McMahon was not going to be around, especially with the federal subpoena that he got this past July, and and all these lawsuits he has. But Nick Khan was out there being a boss, and he acted more like he owned the WWE with him being interviewed by Bill Simmons in the podcast. He was interviewed by ESPN. And the first one was when he was in Bill Simmons' podcast, when he was asked if the deal with Endeavors was the reason why McMahon is still around. And of course, Nick Khan lied his ass off and pretty much said that the deal had nothing to do with McMahon staying as the chairman of the board. But we all know Ari Emanuel and McMahon been friends for 20 years. And McMahon was not going to sell the company to no one else. Okay. And that is the reason why he's still around. Because McMahon, remember last year, he was nowhere to be found after Wall Street Journal went and reported accusations of him of having affairs and paying $17 million of hush money to keep women quiet. And I mean, to me, had to be somebody from the company who pretty much tried to throw him under the bus and make sure that he stays under the bus. And apparently he found a way back. And he was, I mean, it could have been Nick Khan. Maybe Nick Khan was trying to take over the company. I mean, there was rumors going around that him and The Rock were trying to buy WWE. I mean, I heard Disney wanted to buy WWE, NBC wanted to buy WWE. I mean, there was a report that the Saudi was going to bought WWE in January. I remember how all these podcasts jumped and were talking crap without knowing if it was true or not. And at the end of the day, they signed with, they made a deal or merged with Endeavor, who owns UFC. Now, what is this going to do for the company itself? Well, first of all, let's talk about Nick Khan. Nick Khan lying again, like I said, with saying that, that the deal with Endeavor has nothing to do with man still around. Come on. Like I said, he was hiding for months for this, months. But he wanted to take over creative control. As you guys well know, that Triple H took over creative control along with Stephanie McMahon, and they had some great shows after McMahon disappeared. But then it started tailing down. Soon as McMahon came back somewhere in December, and the shows started to feel like McMahon. Again, I feel sorry for. No, actually, let me correct. I don't really feel sorry for wrestling fans that are WWE fans because they don't learn. Okay, because you shell out $64 per pay-per-view, and God knows how much is WrestleMania now, probably 80, whatever it is, and you shell out all this money, and McMahon looks at you straight in your eye and tell you, spend your money. We're going to give you good quality programming, and every week you see it on Monday night, it's the same rinse and repeat. And this is what you guys have to acknowledge, that this is what you're going to be dealing with coming up now. Okay. The fact that you probably may have a possibility of Conor McGregor coming in on a WrestleMania and taking a spot of somebody who, like an Austin Theory, they could have a spot in WrestleMania, maybe taking that away because now Conor McGregor wants to go at it with Roman Reigns, all for publicity. Okay. Or you could have, I don't know, Jim Jones go in there and have a match with Brock Lesnar. I mean, I can see it happening. I mean, we saw it at SmackDown. The Rock is back. Even though The Rock said that last year there was a possibility that him and Roman Reigns were going to go at it. I don't know what happened, but it didn't happen. And was it because it didn't happen? That's why Cody Rhodes never won the world title, because they had probably a possibility that maybe The Rock will come in SummerSlam, and SummerSlam between Rock and Roman Reigns, but that didn't happen. But The Rock did say yesterday at Pat McAfee show that there was a possibility that it may happen. The WrestleMania 40. And now with The Rock popping out of nowhere on SmackDown, now the possibility he's going to take somebody's spot. Not that I got nothing wrong with The Rock. I love The Rock. The Rock is one of my favorites. Okay. The guy's born in May, same month that my birthday's at. May, I think it's May 1st, mine's May 11th. And I love The Rock. Not because of that, but I love The Rock. You know what I'm saying? He's a very good man. He helps a lot of people. I heard story of what he did for the Bray Wyatt family and whatnot. This is what The Rock is. But the fact that he's coming back and whatnot, because, you know, I mean, the actors and movies that they're all on strike in Hollywood, he has enough time now. It may lead to a good storyline between him and Roman Reigns, but now what happens with Cody Rhodes? Me and Jay Santee on Turnbuckle Tabloid had I think I was in his show, he was in mine, and he brought up about The Rock versus the Roman Reigns in WrestleMania. That is the match that everybody wants. Nobody wants to see no more Cody Rhodes against Roman. Okay. And Cody Rhodes has been, believe it or not, he's been in lost in the shuffle. He has not done nothing but go into the ring and give you a story time. Like he's Adam Cole now. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? That's his little thing. He's not really doing nothing. He's still having his matches with Dominic Mysterio, all this nonsense. Where is he going? The fact that there's rumor that he's going to get sent to SmackDown to go after Roman Reigns. Is he the one who's going to beat Roman Reigns for the belt? And then Roman Reigns wrestles The Rock at WrestleMania. Does Roman Reigns loses the belt at Royal Rumble? That's something to talk about. Because there's a lot of stuff. They're still with the nostalgia stuff. They're still looking for all the old school guys. They just got Trish Stratus came in for a couple of months. They dragged that match between her and Becky Lynch, that feud for months, and now she's out of the picture. And now Paul, I forgot the girl that was with Trish Stratus. Now she's in a tag team, I think with Shayna Baszler, if I'm correct. This is what they do. The younger talent, they put them with one of their legends, and then the legends leave, and now the younger talent is lost in the shuffle. It's crazy. Nick Khan also made a comment about CM Punk. He said he respects CM Punk, but then are they looking to sign him? That's the question. He said they got respect for Punk. And Punk came out in some MMA show last night as a commentator, and he said, I got 2 months to do anything. I don't have anything else to do for 2 months. Does that mean that in 2 months from now is Survivor Series? Is he going to show up at Survivor Series? Is he going to get signed by WWE? Again, Ari Emanuel is gonna go and do whatever he wants. Remember, he used to be a UFC fighter. He could come up with that. CM Punk could show up and whatnot. Now, this is to be the second AEW guy. Well, not really, because he was not a homegrown guy, and he wasn't one of the starters of AEW. But he's another AEW guy that's coming in to WWE, and you think they're not gonna give him the microphone for him to go off on AEW? Oh, they're gonna have a blast with that. They're gonna have a blast with that and whatnot. So, I mean, it's something to look forward to see what happens, but it is what it is. I mean, it might still be. I mean, and the amount of money he's going to want, again, that's going to be Ari Emanuel who's going to decide that because he's the 51% owner. And I mean, they're doing cutbacks. They already, Nick Khan this week sent Thursday, he sent an email out telling people that it's, work from remote from home. A lot of people probably got fired on Friday. And Dana Warrior, the Ultimate Warrior's wife, she got let go. How many other people are going to get let go? How many other talent is going to get let go? Because right now, after this merger, talents are not guaranteed big contracts anymore. So if you're not making noise as far as a talent and you're making big money for the company, you're not going to get the big money. It's not going to happen. So it's not going to be pretty for WWE. As far as the talent wise is, and especially if they're not being used. So if they're not being used and yet they got big contract and the contract is coming up, you think they're going to give them big money? If they be like, well, what have you done the last couple of months? You're not even on TV. But that's not their fault. It's not really their fault. It's really WWE's fault and the writers and McMahon, who is the guy who is going to be in charge because Triple H is not in charge. So if you think Triple H is in charge, boy, you better think again. Triple H is nothing but a lackey now. And I'll tell you that because, number one, there was bonuses given out to Nick Khan, Triple H, and Kevin Dunn. And Kevin Dunn got a bigger bonus than Triple H. And Dunn got $7 million bonus. Nick Khan got $15 million. And Triple H, $5 million. Why is this man getting only $5 million? You know what I'm saying? He should be getting more than that, more than Kevin Dunn. Look at Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn is just an ass kisser for McMahon. So it makes no sense. It makes no sense how this man put black and gold on top of NXT in 2019. He had it running for 3 years. It had one of the best brands that WWE had. McMahon felt threatened and broke that down. And now they're using main roster talent to go to NXT so they could get boosts in the ratings, and they got 800,000 views this week, or 850,000 views, almost Dynamite numbers, even though Dynamite beat them by 30,000 people this week. But that's, other than that, if they don't got the main roster, then nobody cares to watch NXT. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason they had that big number was because Becky Lynch was there, and that Steve Tripp's Tiffany Stratton lose the belt to Becky Lynch, which did happen. And I'll be talking about that in a few minutes. But it just goes to show you, what they're doing here. You know what I'm saying? They're so desperate to beat Dynamite with NXT that it's hilarious. I mean, AEW is not going to beat Raw. It's not going to beat SmackDown. Not the way things are going over there. And I mean, they still stuck in the 888,000. That's how much they got this week. I think they got 8,000 more than last week, something like that. But the numbers are not that great for AEW, but at least they're decent. To me, they're a decent wrestling match. I'd rather watch that than watch WWE. I mean, again, that WWE still stuck in the nostalgia era of bringing in the old school people because they don't know what to do with the talent they got there. They don't know what to do with the Austin Theory. They don't know what to do with a Ricochet. They don't know what to do with, the young talents that are there. LA Knight. Even though LA Knight, I'm not a big fan of his. I still think he's a Triple H. I mean, not Triple H. Steve Austin ripoff. He's an all right wrestler and he's great in the mic. But other than that, he's an all right wrestler. Y'all can say whatever you want. He's not a big time superstar like WWE makes him look. So he's good in the mic. I give him that. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the little cheap shot he took at Kevin Nash. No, what's the point of that? You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get any exposure to that. And the only people that's really gonna follow you crazy is the WWE universe, who thinks that he should be the biggest next big thing. Because WWE universe is more into promos. They're not into wrestling. I'll tell you right now, they're not into wrestling. They're more into promos. And then they'll come to wrestling shows like the ones I go to, and they try to do stupidity. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Also, Nick Khan said that once a fighter from the UFC is finished, they could run and they could do a transition to WWE. And that leads me to what I was just saying. Are we going to see Conor McGregor going into WWE and taking a spot out of guys like us again, like an Austin Theory and on WrestleMania? Because now he wants to be part of a show, starting to have a beef with, I don't know, with Roman Reigns, or Jim Jones having a beef with Brock Lesnar, comes in and do whatever he has to do. I mean, it's going to happen. Logan Paul shows up on the big games like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. He steals the spots because this is what these guys do, steals the spots. WWE doesn't care about whether their talent is happening or not, because now they're going to save money because a lot of these talents may be out there. And let me put it this way. Nick Khan is going to be looking at all this situation as far as, are they making money? Are they performing to the level that they expect them? Are they bringing in more new viewers? And if they're not, those guaranteed contracts are no longer going to be around, and they may not get signed. They'll be out there in the indies. AEW has learned I hope they learned their lesson. A bloated roster is going to bring a lot of disgruntled employees. So they need to get this shit together too. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we'll see what happens with that. There was a little situation that I saw. Also, Samantha Irvin. I don't know who is this woman. I don't care for her, and I really don't care for that. But the funny thing is that she spoke about Dominic Mysterio when he's on the mic, and WWE lowering down his microphone so you could hear the booths louder. It's the other way around. Bright light. It's WWE piping crowd through the audio to make it sound like the whole damn arena is booing him out. I saw that this Monday, and I'm like, no. I see that all the time. Is crowd piped in. So pretty much, he this week he was pretty much on the mic, and then he decided to say something, and the people went crazy and decided to, we're booing. But if you look around it, you can really see that some of the crowd's not really reacting like you hear the crowd going crazy. No, that's not true. So I don't know why she's trying to defend WWE. At the end of the day, most likely she'll be cut. So Samantha Irvin, I don't know who you are, but just for you to try to be a WWE shield and talk about Dominic Mysterio in the microphone situation is dumb as hell. So, also the Becky Lynch situation. She went to NXT and defeated Tiffany Stratton so she could be a Grand Slam champion. That's the only reason they did that. The only reason they did that, it was for that, because she, needed to be the Grand Slam champion. She wanted to be the next in the same field with Charlotte. I think Mercedes Moné was also part of the Grand Slam champion WWE. Bailey. So she needed to win the NXT title for her to then be part of that and whatnot. So it's just nonsense. But listen, I don't know what was the point of them bringing in Becky and defeating Tiffany Stratton, the NXT champion. That shows you that what they pretty much saying is that anybody from the main roster could come to NXT and pretty much defeat anyone they want to and take the belt, because they are not in the level of the main roster. It happened to Wes Lee against Dominic Mysterio, who now holds the North American title from NXT. And it happened again this past Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So that goes to show you that they don't care about the NXT product. You know what I'm saying? Even though NXT did 850,000 views, but the only reason that happened was because Becky Lynch was there. You know what I'm saying? So this doesn't help. And people are just saying, oh, that Tiffany Stratton did not get buried on that. How did that help her? Please tell me, how did that help her as a talent? Did that help her? How? She lost to Becky Lynch. That means that Becky Lynch is better than her? I mean, how did that help her? I want to know, how did that help her by her losing to Becky Lynch? And now Becky Lynch is going around bragging, talking about her and Seth Rollins control the business. How you control the business? That makes no sense. How you control the business? That's what I want to know. You know? So I mean, it doesn't make no sense to me what they did that for, but it's ridiculous. But it is what it is. Let's talk about Jade Carghill. Jade Carghill. Is she done with AEW? And the reason I say that is because the reports came in Wednesday night after Dynamite was over. And of course, you guys know that Rampage is recorded right after that. And then they'll show it on Friday. Jade Carghill went against Chris Stanlander. And that kind of surprised me that the reports came in that she was done with AEW. I said, wait a minute. Didn't she come out in Collision and attack the Robin twins and took out Chris Stanlander? And I was like, okay, so they're going to go at it. And okay, so there's going to be some type of storyline after that. But apparently they made the match for Friday, which will be, pretty much it was that Wednesday night. And the word was that Stanlander beat Jade Carghill. They hug. Carghill was crying. And now they're talking about that she may be going to WWE. Now, I have a coworker who told me, I don't know where he heard this from, but a coworker told me that Chris Stanlander may not go to WWE because she thought that she was going to go straight to the main roster. Now, I don't believe that because I think every wrestler knows that when they go to WWE, they're going to go to NXT brand. And they said that once she found that she go to the NXT brand, that she kind of changed her mind. She don't think she's going. Listen, I don't know where the reports came from. And I mean, I try to give as reliable sources as I can, but when I hear stuff like that, I don't see it nowhere. I have to question it. And not that I'm saying that the person who told me doesn't know what he's talking about, but I'm just saying that, sometimes you got to be careful where you read stuff, who is the source and whatnot. And I know Jay Santi got on my ass about that when we were at the House of Glory show and whatnot. He was like, oh, you always talk about the sources. But sometimes you got to do that because you don't know. Next thing you know, you do a podcast like I'm doing, and the next thing you know, it's not true. And I'm not trying to look foolish out here. So right now it's up and down. We don't know if it's going to happen and whatnot. It's just ridiculous. And whatnot. So we don't know. We will see. I think AEW dropped the ball with her as far as the talent that she is. Instead of them, making her a better star than she was, they made her hold that TBS title for God knows for months, and she was having a 60-0 win, and then next thing you know, it wasn't what we expected. You know what I'm saying? We did not. It wasn't what we expected. I thought she would be in the. I mean, when I remember when they created the Outcast, I was like, I already had a fantasy booking where, the girls. I think they would have brought in another person, and then Jade Carghill will be part of the grown or AEW homegrown, but they didn't do none of that. And again, I don't know what the hell Tony Khan is doing with the women's division, but if he wants Mercedes Moné to come in and because he's a mark for her, you're not helping the division, especially when I see Britt Baker always on the title picture. That woman should not be nowhere in the women's title picture anymore. She has had enough chances. She's always in the title picture and whatnot. So it's getting boring. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't even really pay mind to the title scene like that, especially when Britt Baker's involved. So I think AEW dropped the ball on that. I think Eric Bischoff says that her joining WWE will be massive. So that's gonna be something to think about. Also, AEW Bryan Danielson is talking about he may be retiring next year. He said, he said his 7-year-old daughter decided that wanted him to be more home and spend time with her. So, I mean, I think this probably his final year. He's going to do that. And that is a big loss for AEW. If that happens. I mean, I can't wait for him to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. and Wrestle Dream on October 1st. That is a dream match that I'm looking forward to. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Bryan Danielson. The PW 500, that pretty much was a joke, that list. This list pretty much had, again, whoever does this list for the PW 500, he has to be a Shield mark. Definitely. Because Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Jon Moxley were the top three guys who were the top three guys in the PW 500. Seth Rollins, I understand, because Seth Rollins has been wrestling with that bad back, and he's the world heavyweight champion. And ever since he won that title, he's been on fire and whatnot. So he's been doing what he's been doing. Roman Reigns, I don't know why he's number two. Roman Reigns has not been wrestling as of late, and he took almost a 5-month hiatus. And now he's again not wrestling again and claiming he caught an injury during his SummerSlam match and whatnot. So he's already 45 days without defending that belt. So, and yet there was rumors going around that they wanted him to continue being the world heavyweight champion, the universal champion past WrestleMania 40, all to knock down Hulk Hogan's title reign number. So they trying to erase everything from the past, especially now with the merger and whatnot. So at number 4, they had Gunther. Good move. I think Gunther has done pretty good with that Intercontinental title. He's made it prestige again, and it was about time. He broke Honky Tonk Man's record by last week, holding it for the number of time he has. Vikingo, that man, he deserves the number 5 spot. MJF was number 6. MJF, I think he would have had more title shots, I think he would have been higher than that, but pretty much I believe in that. Kazuchika Okada, I believe he should have been higher than 7 and whatnot, because he went 3 years in a row already as a G1 Climax winner twice, and then this year he went again and whatnot to find him, though he lost to Naito, but it is what it is. Orange Cassidy at number 8, that's questionable. Even though he had 31 title defenses, that's very questionable to me. So I really, I don't know about that. Josh Alexander should not be no number 9. Alexander was hurt most of the year. They're getting hurt. So how the hell he's number 9? I don't understand that. Because he needed somebody from Impact in there? Nah, come on. Cody Rhodes at number 10. That's a joke. That's the biggest joke in that list. Cody Rhodes should be nowhere in the top 20 and whatnot. And don't give me because he had 2 great matches with Seth Rollins. He was hurt for most of the year. He does not deserve to be in front of the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Sonata, who came at 11, who won the New Japan Cup and whatnot, and made it last year to the finals of the G1 Climax. So how the hell is Cody Rhodes in front of Sonata, IWGP champion, in front of Claudio Castagnoli, who's a Ring of Honor champion? Even though Castagnoli is at number 12, it's not too high. Carmelo Hayes at 13. Carmelo Hayes defended the NXT, I think, North American title for a while. So how, you got some more. Joe, another title holder. Masha Samovich, who was the GCW champion at one point, and she's number 15. Bryan Danielson. So do you mean to tell me Cody Rhodes is better than Bryan Danielson? This is what I'm hearing? And then Will Ospreay, 17. Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world, whether you like to hear it or not. He's better than Roman Reigns. He's better than Seth Rollins. He's better than Jon Moxley. Talent-wise, he's better than all those guys in front of him. Maybe even Kazuchika Okada. He beat Okada. Okay? So how the hell? I really don't understand it. I really understand it. Alex Hammerstone, the 18. Bobby Lashley at 19. That's a joke. Number 20, Trey Miguel. It's a joke. It's a damn joke. So there you have it. There you have it, guys, and whatnot. So there was other reports, other news. Of course, we have Alex Shelley, Josh Alexander, and Chris Sabin are going to team up for New Japan Destruction and Royoko. They're going to go against the Never Openweight 6-man tag team champions, Okada, Tanahashi, and I think that's not Ishimori. It's oh my god, what is his name? The Pitbull. Tomohiro Ishii. They're gonna go against them, so that's gonna be real cool. So that's something to look forward to. And then we have Minoru Suzuki is gonna face Jacob Fatu at MLW Slaughterhouse. That's gonna be pretty much, a cool situation. Will Ospreay also said he genuinely believe he's on another level above any other pro wrestler, which I agree, because he beat 3 of the best wrestlers in the world. He beat Omega, Okada, and Jericho. So, he is the best to me in the world. He's and New Japan. Speaking of New Japan, he said, "I said for so long that little cat friend. My name's Will Ospreay, and I am on another level. I say it as a catcher, but I genuinely do mean it. I genuinely believe I am on the level above any of other professional wrestler. I don't do anything gimmicky in my matches. I don't dance. I don't have my hands in my pocket. Don't try to make people laugh. I get in the ring, the bell rings, and I'm better than anyone else. So for me, whatever I choose to do, whatever I go, the wrestling world revolves around me." And he said, I guess they asked him if certain responsibility or is a burden for him. He said, burden, no, but it's tolling, it's taxing. I thrive in that situation. I live for that. I want to see if anyone can knock me off my throne, and I don't think that anyone can. I don't think there's anyone that can say they're consistently on point, the best in the world. I don't think anyone can. Not in AEW, not in WWE, and not in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Nobody can say they're better than Will Ospreay. And pretty much, I agree with him. Ospreay's next 10 will come again. Now, Naomichi Fuji on September 17th. I don't know if it's New Japan, but that's going to be cool. That's going to be real cool to see him wrestle against him. The guy's a legend in Noah. So we'll see about that. Let's see. Chris Aldanis pretty much troll Tyrus. He said NWA fans didn't reject Tyrus due to politics. It was because he can't move. So now, as you guys know, Mr. Tyrus lost a retirement match, and he tried to explain why he retired. He has a lot of injuries, but Chris Adonis pretty much is trolling him. Chris Adonis trolling Tyrus. Tyrus said he's still going to be working with NWA and whatnot. But that was the worst NWA champion that Billy Corgan had, and ever since he took over NWA. Why him? I don't know. So it's just dumb. But anyway, that is it for me today, guys. Again, check out my content on my YouTube channel, and check out and subscribe to my channel if you can. Also check out my merchandise and my merchandise from the podcast. I got hats, hoodies, shirts. Go to TCWR Very Ink Pressive.com. That's TCWR Very Ink Pressive.com, and check out the hats, the shirts, the hoodies. Now that winter's around the corner, so check those out. Also, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check that out. Check me out there. I'm mostly on Twitter. So giving you all the reports that's going on in wrestling. At the Chokeslam Wrestling Report and Twitter. So you could check that out. And actually, that's my handle right there. If you can see on the screen, at Ultimate One on Twitter. So you can find me there real easy. Also, guys, you can also find this podcast on the audio podcast format on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, what else? Podbean, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. You can find it anywhere that you guys like to listen to your favorite show on audio podcast platform. So if you guys, again, thank you for supporting the brand, man. I really appreciate it and whatnot. So big ups to all my people from Turboco Tabloid. Of course, I was hanging out with them again this weekend. So shout out to my boy Mike Sorrentino, Home Milk Mike, my boy Jay Santis. We had a blast. So we'll see what happens now this week coming up with all this nonsense. As already we were able to do what we do best. So until then, guys, be good. I'll talk to you guys next week. And next week, we'll have more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.